Hi, welcome back to Senior Project. My name is Dino. It is a pleasure, as always, to have you here. As always, we're getting into the swing of things. This might be a good time to pause, go to NYU Drive, and fill in your attendance. Great. We're going to move on. I just want to reiterate some things from the introduction to the course. This is the description of the course. The seminar allows students to develop a project under the guidance of a faculty member. That would be me. The seminar requires regular class attendance to discuss projects and to document them, as well as individual meetings with a mentor. This screencast helps you to do your attendance. The projects themselves may be in one of the degree's various concentration areas. Hopefully you're in the correct class. That would be fantastic. And finally, for today, projects must be the student's individual original work and include the product, the technical documentation, or bibliography, and a learning experience essay summarizing the research methodology or process and skills used. So today we'll be working more on the research part, the bibliography, which is underlined and bolded. Let's move on. The focus, from what I've seen through your previous work, the focus for this class will be, and the rest of the semester for your senior project, the topic will be based on the media or message article. Again, it's titled Media or Message, which is the king in social commerce. It is both in your NYU Drive and your NYU classes. You can find it in the reading section. Sort of the quick gist of it is the participants of the marketing campaign on social media usually repost information that they find particularly valuable. So basically for this, we're trying to find the intersection for your senior project between social media marketing and marketing. So hopefully that's good for you. Because we're working on the bibliography, because we need research and resources, you're going to want to make a list of your the various resources that are relevant to your study. In this case, again, today we're going to be looking at research papers and popular articles. Later on, you may want to find podcasts, videos, interviews, or other things that may be useful for your study. But again, today we're going to be working more on the research part to help you find research papers and popular articles. There are a ton of things at NYU libraries and libraries in general. I'm just going to go over quickly. This won't take very long, just to give you to wet your whistle, as they say. A couple of different things. One are indexes, another things are databases, another thing is dictionaries, encyclopedias, bibliographies. Most of you already know these things, but I just want to, in case you don't know, these are different resources you could use for your senior project paper or anything else that you may be working on. For those of you who read books before, which is all of you, I'm sure you've heard of the idea of an index. It's the alphabetical list of names and subjects, etc., usually in a book. The index usually refers to the places where these different names and subjects occur. And in terms of a book, where an index is normally found, it's typically found at the end of a book. A database, in comparison, is more digital in format and usually found in a computer. It is a more formally structured set of data. It's found in a computer. Is especially one that is accessible in various ways. You can, again, log into various computers, various databases, and see what the affordances of the database are for you to get your various information. Dictionaries, again, whenever you're learning a language or learning a really specific topic, dictionaries are very useful. It is a book or electronic resource that lists the words of a language, typically in alphabetical order from A to Z. It helps give the meanings of words or equivalent words in a different language. It often also provides information about pronunciation, origin, and usage. So a dictionary, again, if you are learning a new language, whether linguistically or a specific subject matter, a dictionary can be really good to help you learn the basic terms, or more advanced terms if the subject matter is very specific. An encyclopedia, this is kicking it old school, it's a little bit old. It's usually a book or a set of books like this Encyclopedia Britannica, which is probably the most important one. Probably online, the biggest equivalent will be Wikipedia. An encyclopedia gives information on subjects or many aspects of one subject. It is typically arranged alphabetically. Again, A to Z. finally, a bibliography. And we're going to be working on a bibliography in this class to help you push your senior project along. There's a collection of various resources, and you use them to write your paper. It is usually found at the end of your paper when you're writing your essay. I'll go into the next section now. This is NYU Libraries Research Guides. Today, the main focus of today will be for you. That was just a sort of a quick introduction. Today we're going to be looking at the different research guides that NYU Libraries provides. Given that you're watching this on a computer, you might want to pause this and Google the term NYU Libraries Research Guides. I've done it here, and voila, you see this. Click on it. It's loading. So many research guides. You may want to pause after I describe this activity. Browse through this NYU Libraries Research Guides. Think about any thoughts you have from seeing it. Is it useful? What uses does it provide? Is it useful? Is it not useful? Is it too complex? Do you find the information you need? This is a good time to pause. These are the various subject matter you'd find in the NYU Libraries Research Guides. Given our focus on marketing analytics, there's not really a marketing, so we'll go into that in a second. Various things: Africana studies, anthropology, archaeology, law, library and information sciences. Literally so many things you could find out about. If you're looking through it, given that you're marketing, you might want to go into business. That seems to be the best thing to start off in. Then go to advertising, research, and planning, and then browse around. Again, after me giving you this prompt, you may want to browse and then find one possible resource that you could add to your final project. This would be your NYU Drive. It's called Final Project in NYU Drive. I'll show you this. Final project. There you go. Find a research resource. All right. We're going to look at the various parts of this. There's if you go to first business and advertising, research and planning. Business right here, and advertising, research and planning. My internet's a little slow today. You're going to see a bunch of various things here. We're going to be focusing on the top part: home, books and articles, industry resources, marketing, demographics and ad spending, and historical advertisements, or advertisements, depending on how you pronounce things. We'll be focusing more on these ones. They're the bigger ones for you. Again, books and articles, industry resources, marketing, demographics and ad spending, historical advertisements, and miscellaneous, which isn't there, but we'll talk more about that. In terms of books and articles, there are a various number of things in books and articles. If you click on it, I'm going to try and manage my screen. If you want to find terms, you want to go here to the Dictionary of Advertising, of Marketing and Advertising by our good friend Jerry M. Rosenberg. As it says here, it has over 6,000 definitions. And it covers the terminology used in marketing, advertising, merchandising, packaging, sales, and consumer behavior. It's one place to find different terms that you might be focusing on. If you're more international in focus, you might want to look at our friend Lynn Chiochetto's Globalization and Advertising in Emerging Economies. Depending on if you're into BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, that would be great for that. Also, if those two things don't help you, you could look at Bobcat, which is here as well. Bobcat right here. We'll locate more books by researching NYU's catalog, Bobcat. That again is more broad version of things, of different resources. Books. Let's go to the next one. Industry resources. So again, if you have the full screen, click on the next link. Something I found that's been pretty useful for me from my research in marketing has been eMarketer. Trending in schools, latest reports trending in the United States. Popular, latest forecasts. That's really good. You also might want to find market research further down here. Also a useful URL to find different market research. Various topics here are below: food and beverage, technology, media, heavy industry, demographics, life science, consumer goods, science, service industries, public sector. Again, a really, really broad research. If you want to browse through here, this might be a good time to stop and pause the video. Next is marketing, demographics, and ad spending. Click on here. Two things I want to highlight: Data Planet statistical data sets and Statista. The Data Planet statistical data sets is quite a granular consumer detail. If you look in it, it gives you graphs and charts on pretty much anything you can think of that's coming from the consumer end of things: crude oil, national debt, unemployment, housing starts. This might be a little bit too granular for you, but you may want to look around. Statista over here has social media and e-commerce data. Hopefully that will load quickly. Social media and e-commerce. Various facts and numbers, stats and facts. Leading social media usage, influence: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, depending on what platform you're looking for. Again, this might be a really good time for you to pause the video and look through marketing, demographics, and ad spending. The next one is historical advertisements. I don't think this would be so good for you unless you want to kick it old school and look at some really old things. They do have historical newspapers like ProQuest, where you can find PDF full-text images, archives for 100 US papers. Let's go to historical advertisements. ProQuest, yeah, again, if you want to look at any actual newspaper articles, this might be useful for you. Just say like Washington Post. Man, this is slow. And it has various like Washington Post magazine, newspaper, etc., etc. Finally, we'll look at miscellaneous. If you go to the home page, this is probably your most useful. It says, need business help? Ask us. I'm not going to waste their time, but you can type here. This window should give their response. And I would, again, that's if you need specific help. I have a more of a, I like to investigate on my own. There's a search box at the top where you can search. Cool. Again, this might be a good time to pause. This is a quick activity for you to try at home. You might want to find some advertising, research, and planning books and articles. Find at least one resource from any of the following: books and articles, industry resources, marketing, demographics, and ad spending, historical advertisements, and miscellaneous. Again, if you go to advertising, research, and planning home, books and articles, industry resources, marketing, demographics, and ad spending, historical advertisements. You should be able to find, depending on what your inclination is. If you want something long form, more scholarly books and articles, it would be useful. If you're looking for more statistics and things, industry resources would be good. Really granular marketing demographics and ad spending data would be useful here. If you're looking at comparing something over time, that would be useful. Historical advertisements. Now, finally, to end today, your homework is to confirm or find your senior project topic. Read at least one major research paper. I would highly recommend starting with Media or Message, which is the king in social commerce, which can be found in NYU Drive classes. I would also maybe suggest looking at your thesis statement to make sure you have something clear that you want to do. After you find your thesis statement, you might want to list your issues and add those that relate to your thesis statement so it's all a coherent whole. Finally, if you haven't done this, you might want to review your syllabus and NYU classes. And then for this class specifically, these things at the beginning were from last week. You might want to do them if you haven't done them, or you might want to revisit them to make them better. For this class, for this week's homework, you want to find 3 articles related to your senior project, ideally from Advertising Research and Planning Home. Otherwise, you could use something like Google Scholar or your favorite search engine to find different information, or just NYU libraries in general. With that, and I'll show you where your homework is. You can see this. Homework is listed in the homework folder. It is always listed there for you. Again, those things I listed were from last week. This is for this week. And for your final project choice, thesis paper from last week, list of issues also from last week, and then for this week you want to work on these 3 things. 3 different research sources. Again, thanks a lot for attending and being here. Appreciate your time and attention. Have a fantastic week. Good luck with your senior project.